Hello, friends, and welcome to the game of the year of the year. SideQuesting's observation selection of our favorite games
Yeah,
of
sure. I don't know
several
what
years. Yeah,
games of the years.
games of the year.
No, plural. You got plural both here.
Plural.
Games of the years.
Games. That's correct. Game of the year. Games of the years. This is the show where we select JJ and I, the historians of SideQuesting, select our favorite games leading up to SideQuesting's first ever game of the year. So we're gonna do that every year. You don't see any other website doing this, but you, lucky people, Patreon members first, get to hear our debate and our selection for the games of the year. We're gonna do this in chunks. We started the previous episode. We did the beginning of video games. I
Yeah,
think we had some Stone Age games that were powered by
yeah,
lightning
yeah.
and fire.
Hoop and stick really brought
Hoop
in.
and Stick was good. And then we got that all the way up to 1975, and we're going to do 76 to 1980. So we're going to we did a whole bunch, I think like 20 plus years worth the first time or whatever it was. Then we're doing 5 years right now. And then I think we're going to start paring it down. We'll do like 5 year chunks maybe. And then I think when we finally get to maybe the 2000s, we'll go to 1 year each episode. I don't know.
I
We'll
don't know.
figure it
Once
out.
you hit, once you hit the '90s, go crazy, man. If you
They are
try to,
nuts.
if you try to, yeah, I don't know. Once you hit
We may need to do one per year. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a tough one.
even the '80s, like the late '80s, kind of
The
get a little
ladies,
wrong. Like once you hit '85 with like
the NES,
Nintendo and
really.
the
Yeah.
Master
Good
System really
point.
kind of hitting their peak, things get bonkers and they kind of get super focused. They kind of figure out what video games are.
It is a video game explosion at that
Oh, nice. Get
time.
someone.
Well, hope your heartbeats have started because we're gonna talk
Yeah.
video games. Um, I gotta get all the extra sounds added on here. There's some really bad
Yeah,
ones.
I was playing with those. You can see
Yep.
I've added a couple of
I
songs
love it.
too to the
Love it. Love it. Excellent. Oscar strikes. Let's go over who this is for. This is for the Patreon members. Thank you to our executive Punctified, Punkdefied. Thank you to
better
the
listen to this.
Yeah, they better. The producers, our good friend Zero, the prototype, Exaginous, Jeff Grubb, Cricket, and Stefan. We have lots of friends of the show, like Sweet Meat. We have a lot of people getting thanks. Sweet Meat, by the way, that's an awesome name. A lot of people giving thanks. A lot of cool folks. So thank you, everybody, and everybody who just likes us. That's always cool to us. We're thankful for that. We're going to do this episode right now. Funny enough, I forgot to hit the publish on the actual Patreon post. So some folks will be getting it right now. Either way, people are going to be getting it in the Discord where we're chatting right now about the games. So we're going to start with this, and then we're going to actually do a second show at the tail end. We'll reveal that later. But right now, we're going to get into some of the games. And I was actually looking for videos for some of these, and it is kind of difficult to find some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do my best. Now, granted, there are a lot of people who put videos out, but they're like sponsored videos and all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best, and please feel free to hop in when you can and go from there. We're going to start in 1976, and there were a couple games that I personally wanted to highlight. We're going to try to do it quicker this time. Last time we did like 10 games some years.
Yeah, I do know for a fact 1976 is one of my favorite games of all time. So
I think you and I might be already coming up on this. There were two games that I wanted to highlight. One is a game that kind of started a lot of genres, and It really it was the granddaddy for a lot of them. But okay, now come on, there we go. This is the one that I wanted to show, and that would be Colossal Cave Adventure. And check it out. Would you like instructions? So you guys can see my screen there.
Hell
Is
yeah.
there someone's faking the Colossal Cave? Colossal Cave, for those that don't know, was essentially like it was known. By the way, it was known as Adventure or Advent. It was released in 1976 by Will Crowther for the wonderful PDP-10, the mainframe computer, which you also got in your basements, obviously, and every bank probably still has
Yeah.
them. And then it sort of kept getting adapted and expanded over the years after that. And then obviously that spawned the whole adventure game genre, RPG, computer RPGs, things like that. And we've talked about some RPGs in the past that are more adventure-like, action-like RPGs. This text-based adventure really got people excited. And it used a natural language system, which I think was pretty awesome. It was kind of based on Crowther's. He had like these maps and experiences, like playing, like caving, literally caving in Mammoth Caves, so in Kentucky. So he put all this stuff together, and he's like, I can make a game out of this, and I could do a lot better job than some of the other text adventures that were out there that people weren't really into. But yeah, this is a total text adventure. What's next? Would you like instructions? No. Okay. I'm starting at the end of a road. Can I expand this? There we go. Before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. A small stream flows out of the building and down a gully. What's next? Let's walk to the building. Let's see what happens. Walk to the building. I don't know that word. Perfect.
Beautiful. That is the perfect. What word don't you know?
What word don't you know? Anyways, a text adventure. It's cool. And what I always liked about Colossal Cave, it was not the first text adventure game that I played, but definitely came back to it years later. And
didn't you do a review of like a recent release of this or something?
There was some
sort of weird,
it was
thing.
It was
a year or so ago.
It was Roberta Williams. They remade. Now, interestingly enough, Roberta Williams strictly cited this game as launching Sierra Online because which was, I think, Mystery House. We'll get to that later. But they made a Colossal Cave game recently. I think 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago.
Oh boy!
And it was in 3D, and I hated it. I really did not like it.
I remember that.
There's a VR version of the game, and here I'm going to share. Here's my review right now. Beautiful. That
little side
beautiful.
Thing.
And I did not like this game at all because it just you lose the magic of what Colossal Cave is about, which is wow, it's doing the fun CC down there, bloop, which is exploration. You don't want to see this stuff. You're meant to do that sort of natural input. You're meant to use your brain and kind of think around stuff and not see them. And that's what I loved about text adventure games and sort of the point and click adventure games later on as well. But that one kind of sucked. So don't look at that Colossal Cave. Go to the original Colossal Cave, aka Adventure Advent, and play it there. So that was the first game, and then the second game it's hard not to talk about this game, and that's because we have been playing recent games that are kind of built off of this. Like
keep making them.
Yeah. Well, the one game that I loved last year that I fought for our game of the year was Deny, but it's essentially this type of, you and I freaking love this game.
Yeah.
The game is called Breakout.
You may have heard of it.
It's been done to death. But the magic of this game is just a bouncing ball. And you're trying. It's like Pong, but one-way Pong.
It does the one thing that a lot of smart games do. and that's how do you make a multiplayer game single player?
Yeah.
And they so how do you make Pong a one player thing that's not just playing against a computer? Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
playing Pong against a computer is boring. So
Right.
you figure out something else, and it just makes sense.
Ooh, this is losing its
Boy,
mind here.
this this website's fun.
Whoa.
Breakout adjacent. That wasn't breakout.
Loud, but you get what breakout is. So good, man.
Yeah, and I mean, like some of my favorite games, like just end up falling into being a breakout. Like I think I just talked about it recently. I picked up on like Steam summer sales. I got Shatter.
Ooh, nice.
Just
Nice.
which is just it's breakout, man. It's
Yeah.
Arkanoid is breakout.
Yeah, no, for sure. And
yeah.
yeah, like Stefan says, it's still, you can play breakout anywhere, and it's
Nothing.
one of the easier games to code if you're actually trying to code something, by the way.
It's
You
a good. It's
learn
a
to
good
code.
beginner.
It's a
Yeah.
good beginner game. I think every tutorial is breakout, but yeah, Shatter really was great.
So
Yeah, continue, please.
nothing feels better. Very few arcade cabinets. If you get your hands on a real breakout cabinet with that heavy spinner knob that's like
It's true.
weighted, and it's a potentiometer, and it's just a smooth greased spin. Man, that's a good that's a good control scheme.
It sure is. It sure is. So those are my two picks for 1970. My picks for 76,
Yeah.
and I mean, I lean towards breakout.
I mean, it's breakout.
It's breakout. It's just so good. It is. It's everybody should be playing breakout right now.
All the time.
Like, stop what you're doing. Just play it right now. No,
It's
listen to this
playable on
podcast first.
everything. They did a breakout Beyond, and then that new shit.
There'll probably be a breakout movie coming out because it seems like that's
for
all.
sure. 76 also had the Fairchild game system. That was
there was quite a few things that happened.
Isn't that when Apple was founded? Wasn't it 76 when Apple got founded?
Maybe. Like, I know there was a Winter CES that year. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Winter CES, and there's the first time video games were there for dedicated like home consoles. And
Death Race came out.
Race came out. Yeah.
the first video game violence in video games.
Yes, the controversy, baby. Yeah. So it's cool. I mean, there was quite it really started getting into the boom of game consoles. I think.
Yeah, Pong's a big hit by this point, and now we have
the Atari and Magnavox had their own consoles. So good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. I was also going to mention that the Fairchild F was launched that year, and then the video entertainment game system. Yes, very, very important. The F is for Frank. No one ever knew that. But yeah, okay. So there's our selection. Breakout for
Game of the Year 1976.
Congratulations, Breakout. I will do some stuff in post to
exciting.
I'll make it exciting. Up next, we have 1977 in video
the year
games.
Of Star Wars.
The Star Wars. Did you Wars in the stars?
Yeah.
Couldn't be. You remember a little game called Space War that we talked about? I think it may have won. I don't know if it won one of the games, one of the awards or anything, but Space Wars is a take on that. So this is a kind of a vector. I'm trying to pull up some. Gosh, these screenshots are just absolutely horrible on Wikipedia.
Big old Vectrex game, man.
It was vectors and
it was white phosphorus glow.
So good.
Space Wars.
It was a what they call multi-directional shooters, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of aim all over the place on the screen and stuff, blah blah. It's black and white, vector graphics, based on. They couldn't actually say it was based on Space War. From the PDP one, but I mean everything. It's called Space Wars.
That's what the industry was at this time.
Yes, yeah. They're like, let's just freaking use it. Let's just copy it and use it. In the arcades, it was November in the U.S. and developed by Cinematronics, I believe, is what the name of the company. But Space Force was a real kind of cool take on vector shooting. Up next, the next game. This game started development in 1977, and it got far enough along where it was actually split into 3 separate games because it was done to like death by a few different developers. Tim Anderson, Mark Blank, Bruce Daniels, and Dave Lebling. They're also the future founders of Infocom. And the game fully took its actual form that we know some years later, but it was first released to the public this year in 1977, and that is Zork.
Zork?
The first version of Zork was developed for the PDP-10 at MIT, because everything happens at MIT, apparently. So we just talked a little bit about text adventures, right?
Yeah.
And other stuff. Zork is the kind of game that I've seen so many like iterations of Zork. People try to do like some crazy graphical stuff, but my favorite things that I've seen of Zork, and it's on the Wikipedia page, is that folks created like maps and artwork on just text, like based off of text and like ASCII files.
Yeah, just ASCII art before ASCII art was really a thing.
So cool. So Zork was really kind of an interesting experience from that standpoint. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Space War? Any other games or Space Wars?
I don't even like, because like I know 77 is when the VCS came out.
Yeah, the VCS, but it only had like
yeah, it didn't have anything. And 77 was kind of a quiet year overall. It was more of the it was more planting your stakes than it was getting things really out there. Because and to be fair, very few things from the Atari VCS / 2600 are worthy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, they launched that with games that had been in arcades for a while, like Air Sea Battle. They had Basic Math, cool, Blackjack, whatever, Combat. I mean, all the stuff that we'd seen, and then Video Olympics, which was Pong, versions of Pong. So, I welcome to the world, Atari VCS, the first like big game console. But it's nothing really released that year gaming wise.
Yeah, like
so. Yeah,
because like also like a lot of the big tabletop stuff was because like Games Workshop was just taken off, so you're gonna see a lot of things like popping up that are just straight ripoffs of Warhammer coming up. Names and all, game magazines are starting to become a thing. So we're hitting weird times in 77. 78 is, I don't know.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I guess
very
Zork, if anything.
Like, I'm gonna lean towards Zork.
Counts, it's gonna be Zork. So
it's gonna be Zork because it was, like you're saying, it was sort of the starting year for a lot of stuff, but not necessarily a breakout year like we had in 76. Get it? I just tied a bunch of stuff together there. Okay, Zork it is. Congratulations, Zork and Infocom. 1978.
1978 has one of the greatest video games of all time.
I'm going to start with the honorable mention first. Myself, the year I was born, 1978.
Okay.
Basketball.
Got it.
Basketball on the Atari. I think I was on the VCS. Was a very cool, actually, a very interesting take on basketball. But because you had both hoops were on one screen. And you just had the two characters running back and forth, but the the whole aspect of that really basic version of basketball was actually kind of fun. And that game was still available and still selling on the Atari VCS / 2600 for years after that. But I mean, Space Wars. I'm sorry, Space Invaders, man.
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. That started that kind of fixed shooter genre. And you're
Yeah.
saying, I mean, it's one of the greatest games
It's
of all
one of the greatest
time.
games of all time.
Yeah,
It's insane. I mean, 78, okay, like listen, we know what Space Invaders is. We don't need to go on and on about Space Invaders. But we got some interesting stuff that came out in because 78's when you actually got a trackball.
Yeah, you got track
the
balls.
Atari got a trackball for what was it? It was a sports game, wasn't it? It wasn't basketball because you would have said it. It's got to be like football or something, I would assume.
Something like that. Yeah, it was. I'll get to it. Keep talking.
But also a notable big release in Japan. A little small company called Nintendo.
I may have heard of.
Yeah, they put out an Othello game in the
That's right. That's right.
In this year, so that's like their first like video game. Like you know, up to this point, they were still just a toy company and playing cards. You know, that's dabbling in electronics.
Yeah, they were kind of starting to think about things, and we'll get to it in a second here. Of some of them. But I mean, Space Invaders is still so freaking good, man. It's funny. Like you look back at games like that, and like Pong, and just some of these very basic style games, you know, Centipede, whatever. That they nailed. Like they're so pure that they nail it in pureness, and it's like you can't. I mean, you can mess it up, but it's so good. Like it's easy to iterate on and come up with interesting things. So
I mean, like some of my favorite games of all time are just ripping off Space Invaders directly.
For sure.
It's just like
so.
Okay. So it was the trackball was for football.
It was for football. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yep. Oh wait, I didn't know this. Namco released their first arcade game this year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
GB.
It's funny you look at like who released who was around that first time. Like Taito is there, and some of the companies.
GB is a breakout pinball game.
Oh boy,
that's kind of sick.
Wait a minute. Actually, hold on.
These Namco guys may be cooking.
Midway was Space Invaders was the highest grossing game, like by far.
According to this, the arcade industry reached $1 billion in revenue this year.
It's just bonkers. Just Space Invaders alone, supposedly $670 million, like $3.3 billion with inflation. Sorry, Grand Theft Auto 6. Forget it. You got nothing on Space Invaders.
Yeah, but like this right here, this moment in time that we're talking about is where video games actually exist.
Yeah.
Like what we recognize as video games as a whole.
Yeah.
Like start to form now. I mean, like Space Invaders was a whole different level of video game. And I think an industry took notice.
And people started right away. They're like, crap, we have to get to work.
Yeah.
Like, we have to get because the very next year, 1979.
Did we officially award Space Invaders the game?
Yeah, how could we not? I've already highlighted it in our doc.
Officially.
It is officially. 1979 was a super interesting year because there were tons of games that were released in 1979. Arcade, console. You had a lot of ripoffs. Obviously, Space Invaders still the top grossing game. Still so many cabinets sold, but like Galaxian came out. Galaxian is also one of those single room shooters. I freaking loved Galaxian. Like
Galaxian and Galagaga.
Galagaga. But like Galaxian was great. I was looking like Monaco GP. I remember playing it. I remember playing Head On. I remember playing Space Chaser. And this is Japan. These are Japanese, and I've played these. In the U.S., I mean, like Super Breakout, right? They had Super Breakout come out, and like Starhawk. Gosh Almighty, it was crazy. Video pinball, like they were moving. Like it's just so cool to see the explosion. And then, like I said, the home market was just like was booming as well. Like at home, you had a lot of spin-off consoles. Like Atari released Lunar Lander in the arcades, and based on that kind of original microcomputer version, you had let's see, Temple of Apshai, which is a graphical RPG. You had the original Flight Simulator, now owned by Microsoft. It was actually by a company called Sublogic, released it for an Apple, for the Apple II. So Microsoft is just picking up the scraps of Flight Simulator. But God, I might have to pick that up, the very original one, and give it a shot. Richard Garriott got into developing RPGs with Akalabeth, which is sort of the precursor to the Ultima series. And then there were the first MUDs. There was God, it was just nuts. There's like so many things out there. Texas Instruments released a TI-99. I'm just looking through that list. It's just crazy. NEC, Atari had consoles. Mattel started doing the Intellivision.
This would have been this would have been the test year for the Intellivision, like Nintendo did, where the NES came out like 4 months before its nationwide release.
And then Milton Bradley released the Microvision, which is the first handheld game console with interchangeable cartridges, because Nintendo had actually released the Game & Watch prior to that. But I mean, there were tons of stuff was happening in games. Like games were a thing at 79. I mean, like I said, 1979, looking at the list right there, you had, like I said, you have the big one to me was Asteroids. I mentioned Galaxian. Asteroids was like the whole vector based, like everybody's played Asteroids. Another massive game that is Space Invaders and Asteroids are memed in movies. Like you can see a movie and like the people actually plan shots. I mean, there's a whole genre of video games today that are based on the idea of asteroids, of aiming and shooting and characters moving. Like Hotline Miami, you could almost say has some, John Wick, the John Wick movies have some like asteroid stuff happening. So Asteroids, Galaxian was out that year, and then Nintendo published Radar Scope. That was their big shoot 'em up, the 3-dimensional shoot 'em up.
Eventually those all turned into Donkey Kong.
They transferred them. They're like, oh crap, we're not selling. We couldn't get the Popeye license yet. So so there were a lot in 1979, but I mean I'm gonna put the Galaxian down. I'm gonna go for Asteroids. Same thing. So there you go. Asteroids is the 1979 SideQuesting's Game of the Year. Congratulations. Applause. And that leaves one more year. 1980. 1980.
Good
we
Lord.
Are in. This is it. We're in the 80s. We are now in official bonkers territory. Video games are officially official. They are part of pop culture. And it was hard for me to not lose like an hour and a half looking at Wikipedia this morning at games in 1980s, because I would click on on the Wikipedia page and I'd click on a game and I'd go to another game, and then that would launch me another thing, and I'd go find the history of stuff, and then like, oh yeah, they made a movie about this, and they had a TV series based on this. Oddly enough, 1980, the best-selling home system. Y'all ready for this, kids? Y'all ready for this? The Game & Watch.
Ball.
Best-selling ball, baby. Just hilarious. But yeah, 1980, here's a list, just some of the games. Pac-Man, Battlezone, Crazy Climber, Mystery House, Missile Command, Phoenix, Rally X, Space Panic, Stratovox, Zork, like the full Zork, Adventure, Olympic Decathlon, Game & Watch, like we mentioned that, Crazy Moon Crest. There's just so freaking many games that released.
It's nuts, man.
And this is the point where I was like, okay, I do have to really think about this a little bit. Up until now, because there were so few games, there were always the highlight games. And this one is I had to kind of just briefly sit back. I have my favorite, and then I have the one or two that are like like really close to me. So let me talk about those first. Phoenix,
Mm.
absolutely love Phoenix. That was the type of again, that was the kind of shooter that it has bosses, and that having bosses, like the first like real video game to have a boss was kind of cool. Like they really didn't have that. It had like one or two. I had that on my Atari 2600. I love Phoenix. It's just again, it is a simple shooter style game, but the boss had like I remember having like multiple layers of defeating them. It was just cool. It was like mix of Space Invaders and like Breakout kind of built into it a little bit. Had some cool stuff. So Phoenix is great. I still love Phoenix. Mystery House that I was telling you about, Roberta
Yeah.
Williams and her and her husband launching Sierra Online with this game, Mystery House. I can't wait to get into the 80s and talk all about the adventure games. Mystery House. I didn't play Mystery House until like maybe the early 2000s, even though I'm a big Sierra fanatic. So love those two games. Rogue, where roguelike
Yeah,
came out in
Rogue is
1980.
Rogue's interesting because it would become the most influential genre defining game of all time, but like it took decades.
It took decades to do it. And then the big one, the old yellow chomper Pac-Man, which just took over everything.
Yeah.
And I still love playing. It's hard not to like. It's hard not to like give it to it. It's hard not to like it because again, very pure idea. But I think sorry, go ahead.
Well, go with yours.
No, I was gonna say Pac-Man was the first time where I'm like, where I played a game and thought, oh, there are moments in video games history where you think, oh, this is something completely genre shifting and different. And we could, text adventures are great, but they're books. Pong, a lot of Pong. Like Pong was the first one where you thought, okay, this is something kind of cool. There were some like vector and 3D things that happen here and there.
Yeah, well, but even like to an extent, like what Pac-Man was doing wasn't that different because there had been a couple of collect the dots games before this. Like a lot of car games were that.
Yeah.
Before this, like
a lot of racing car games were collect the dots.
And there was even like games where you played a quote unquote car, which is just a dog bone on the screen that you collect dots with, or even like Rally X or whatever.
Yep.
It had some interesting things, but like Pac-Man just kind of packaged a very simple design.
It packaged.
It packaged because originally Pac-Man. No,
I pull up the but no, it packed. You're right. It did everything right. It had this.
It used a very novel concept for video games at the time. It used art and visuals and music and even a story to convey a game in a maze. Like, I mean, it's the game itself is just the gameplay is tight. Miss Pac-Man plays better, but that's neither here nor there. But what Pac-Man was doing was, an entirely new concept for video games, and that's making art out of them.
Making making characters. Like
Pac-Man, I will say though, my favorite game of 1980 won't win, but it is Missile Command.
Oh, it is really good.
That's actually I would play Missile Command over Pac-Man any day of the week, honestly. If you put those two cabinets in front of me, I'd pick Missile Command. I just really love Missile Command. I love the sound of it. I love the feel of it. I love the sort of anxiety-inducing stuff that it does. Especially when it the missiles start, detach from one another and start careening down towards. It's a really cool aesthetic. It looks good. It it's very Cold War coded, obviously for obvious reasons.
Didn't they make like a modern Missile Command-ish thing?
Yeah, they did that cool escape room one that I really liked.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's that game's sick. It's like a card-based Missile Command escape room Missile Command. It's great. But no, it's Pac-Man. I mean, there's nothing. Pac-Man. Nothing had. It was a sea change with Pac-Man, man.
It really was.
I mean, there were #1 hit songs,
The
cartoons,
cartoon series, like movies have been
movies,
like done since then.
cameos. The
Yeah,
music is
cameos.
iconic. The everything about it is just yeah, everything. Yeah.
God, so good, so good. So Pac-Man, congratulations, Pac-Man.
Yeah.
SideQuesting's Game of the Year 1980.
Pac-Man, you finally did it.
Yeah. Pac-Man finally wins an award years later. Well, JJ, that was fun. That was a good half hour solid of
Solid.
selecting games from the the wonderful years of 76 to 1980. We're going to be getting into much more difficult territory.
It's gonna get so hard. It's gonna get so hard.
We're going to have to discuss how we're going to do it going forward. We may do maybe one more bigger chunk of games, maybe start smaller. But it's going to get very difficult. And this is where you and I are going to have to come into. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. You're going to have to come into the podcast. We're going to come in with our choices and say, this is it. We're not going over the history. We're just going to say our favorites from this year and why and
argue about them
and argue about it and throw
why mine's right and yours is wrong.
Exactly
81 is gonna be so fucking hard, dude.
I just looked at it too. I just flipped forward to it. Gosh, it's great. This is so
like
good.
6 games in there that are my favorites of all time.
There is one in there that is so freaking meaningful for me.
Yeah.
Especially. But anyway, so it's gonna be fun. Until that point, we might do this monthly again. We had it going for a minute. We were gonna do it monthly, and then things got busy over the summer. So we're gonna go back to doing this monthly, and our next one will probably be towards maybe the tail end of August. We'll figure it out, but it'll be a fun thing to do. But with that, JJ, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. And SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. And we'll see you in the Discord. Thank you to all the Patreon. And now we're going to move on to something else. But we're saying bye to everybody first for the GOTY of the year. Bye.